We got good news for you. Bergara has started selling standalone rifle actions, and we're wasting no time. We've got a killer rifle build in this video. Hey guys, Gavin Gear here from UltimateReloader.com. I'm back with Colin Russell from Bergara. Thanks, buddy, for joining me yet again.
Absolutely. I'm excited. Yeah.
I'm kind of used to seeing you at the SHOT Show, but here we are at Ultimate Reloader.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, we got to see a couple times this year because we did Wyoming too.
That's right. Yeah, the Academy. What a good time that was. So I'm really excited about this. What was that? A year or two ago, I did a build with a Bear Premier action from Bergara. And I remember telling Bergara, like behind the scenes, you guys should really sell these things. Well, that day has come.
It is. It's here.
It's here. Standalone Bear actions, and then we also have barreled actions. You know, make sure you check that video out. Totally different build, different cartridge, whole different story. This build, though, is, you know, you were really thinking, well, what if you did like a short action Magnum, right?
Yes. Yep.
But not any short action Magnum.
Yes.
We got a 7 SAUM going.
Something unique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but before we get into the build, let's talk about what's available, right? We've got Premier actions that are available. I saw today on the website they were listed at $8.99 from
MSRP.
The Bergara website. So yeah, do your deal shopping and whatnot. And we've got regular 308 bolt face in a short action. We've got Magnum bolt face in a short action, which is what we've got here. And you've also got long action with the Magnum bolt face.
Yep. Yeah.
So if you want to build a 7 PRC like I did, you can do that now.
Absolutely. Yep. Or this one for a 6.5 PRC if you want to go that route, or like what we're doing, something a little bit more wild, but the same action.
Yeah. And, you know, if you're not familiar with Bergara, it basically takes the Remington 700 formula and it implements all of the basic improvements and features and design details that Remington just refused to do over the years. And so Bergara stepped in, they leveled up.
Yep.
And kept the price low, which is great. You know, this is less than $1,000, which makes it affordable and custom, right? Which
absolutely
is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yes. So we've got a few things here in terms of the build components. The only thing really that we've added here was a 20 MOA rail. The action does not come with a rail, so you're going to pick your inclination angle and go with that. This uses 840 screws. Some of the rimfire Bergaras use the 648 screws. So if you'd order a rail from Bergara, it should come with both, which is nice.
Yep. Yeah. Anything that's in the B14 action, you're going to have the 648 screws on that. But all these Premier actions, it's all the 840.
Yep. And then we thought we'd try a barrel from Oregon Mountain Rifle Company. And this is a pretty unique carbon barrel. It's got a Krieger core, I noticed. And Oregon Mountain Rifle Company has a proprietary carbon process and formula that has lower resin, more carbon. It's stiffer. It's longitudinal wrap rather than wrapping around the circumference, right? And that should mean more stiffness. And they really optimize the design for when the barrel heats up rather than trying to just keep the barrel cool. Just make it work the way that it's going to warm up. So that'll be really fun to check that out.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is 20 inch. This is 1 1/8 twist. It's got a 1.2 inch barrel shank. So if you're doing a build with short action Premier, 1.2 inch barrel shank is going to work great. The 20 inch length I think will be great if you're running a suppressor.
Absolutely.
Should be totally perfect. Why don't you talk about the stock real quick?
Yeah, we're real excited about this one too. So we were able to get our hands on it for this build, but this is brand new from MDT. It's their new CRBN stock. This is one of the early ones out there, but they just announced this about a month or two ago, and we finally got one in the flesh. So we're gonna put that together in this build. Carbon on carbon. I think they have 3 different paint schemes on here. We went with the flat dark earth and the olive drab. But they also have, I think it's like gray and orange.
Ooh, nice.
Like a blaze orange. Then they've got 2 different bottom metals. They have their competition bottom metal and then a hunter bottom metal. The hunter bottom metal is pretty unique. It's actually got a lock on it so that you don't accidentally release that magazine if you are carrying it, down here. So integrated ARCA rail. This is going to be a fun piece to add to the puzzle. So
yeah, if you like the Hunt 26, but you want something that's a little bit more traditionally constructed in terms of the ergonomics and that kind of thing. I think this looks looks fun. I'm looking forward to shooting it with you.
Yeah.
And then the optic Mark V HD. This is the 3.6 to 18 by 44 with the M5C3 reticle.
Yeah, this was kind of going to finish up the short stack rifle that we got here, because that's a nice short optic.
Yep.
This should be pretty awesome to carry around in the woods or take out on the bench and see how far you can take it. So, yeah, that's going to top it off great.
I love the tactical leaning direction of the Mark V HD. This whole turret system, the way that you zero it, the rev indicator that's built in, the zero stop, the way all that works, totally awesome. Very robust optic. You've also got a sort of tactical form factor on the stock. We've got 2 different MDT magazines, a 3-round and a 7-round.
So then our brass.
Yep, ADG. That's ADG is really cool what they offer, because they offer specialty brass, right? 7SAUM is one example. When I did my 7PRCW F-class rifle build, I was able to get 7PRCW brass, which nobody else makes.
Sure. Yeah. No, and they were super fast with shipping and everything. The quality on it is, I mean, I'm super impressed with it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, excited to see what we can get out of those.
Yeah, sure. It's really good quality brass, and it shot super well when I did the other 7 build, the 7PRCW. So, kind of getting into the build details. So we've got a reamer from Manson. This is per Sammy's specifications. We've got go and no-go gauges. And then, getting ready for the build, I was happy to see that Bergara has publicly released their gunsmithing specifics, the tenon print and the receiver dimensions. Mm-hmm. And that made it really easy to get ready for the build and to, make sure that everything was going to come together correctly. The one thing that's interesting about the tenon design is there's this angle on the nose. It's almost like a conical design, but not totally, because it's also got a flat termination area on it. So you just have to make sure that you get the right depth on what is essentially a counterbore with a semi-cone breech, I guess is probably the best way that I could describe that. And so they give you the depth, they give you the diameter and the angle, right? And then you just kind of follow it out. This barrel blank indicated real easy in the lathe. It was a little shorter than what I could do on the PM1440 HVT2 through the spindle, so I screwed on a barrel extension. And the way these barrel blanks come is they're already threaded on the muzzle end, because this cap essentially screws on, it appears, as part of their construction method. So I was able to screw the barrel extension right on, put it all the way through, and then I've got a place to blow compressed air, and then I can angle the barrel in the lathe and get it perfectly, indicated. And so on the breech end, it was a matter of getting it totally indicated, and then within 1,000th, pre-drill the chamber area, and then go in with a 10,000th indicator into the throat area, that precisely dialed in area in there. And then I dialed it to 1/10,000th of an inch, and then went to work turning the tenon down, cutting the thread relief, and then threading the breech end. And then I turned this semi-cone breech so that when I did a test fit, I could actually have the bolt to make sure that, when I was going to do my headspace checks and all that, it was all ready to go prior to, cutting the chamber. So with the chamber cut, this Manson reamer cut exceptionally well. I think the barrel dial in, the bushing fit on the reamer, and everything was absolutely just perfect. I checked for run out several times inside the chamber walls when I was cutting the chamber, and it was literally 0.
That's awesome.
Like one of the best results that I've seen. Yeah, so everything was running completely true. I did my first final cut, and then I took it 3/1000ths deeper to get basically go +2. I used to cut chambers a little bit tighter, but when you have tighter, you have a shorter case, right?
Sure. Yep.
And then your reloading die can struggle a little bit more to get that shoulder pushed all the way down when your die contacts the shell holder, right? So if you actually go +2, you have a little bit more generous chamber. It fireforms just a touch longer, and then you know that you're going to be able to bump the shoulder exactly kind of how you want that to be, and just gives a little bit more forgiveness with different types of ammo and that sort of thing. So chambering was very smooth, sped things up to not have to do the muzzle end. Then it was time to go on to Cerakote, and this time I made some very specific enhancements to my process. The 7PRC build that I did, that was OD green. That one turned out really nice, but I do selective Cerakote application, right? So we're not coating any of the parts where the bolt is going to be running in and out. And that's really important because H-series Cerakote is not a low friction coating, right? It's a ceramic. And there's tolerances that you're dealing with there. So my philosophy is don't do the coating. So for this particular Cerakote job in SolidWorks, I designed a basically an extruded plug that would go in. You see this little sort of keyway on the side there.
Yeah.
That was cut out of it, and it's just basically an extrusion. Shoved that in, and then I took an old 1 1/16 16 thread per inch barrel from an old gunsmithing job, cut it down, and that meant I could screw that on, have the recoil lug in place. We don't want Cerakote on the recoil lug because that could change your headspace by 2,000ths.
Yep.
And then you've got another 1,000th here, right? So yeah, this plus that could be 2,000ths off. So clamped it all together, and then this time it wasn't just hanging. I had literally like a wand that I could hold, and then with the other hand, you know, do the Cerakoting and that sort of thing. And everything with that turned out absolutely great, except I didn't use the right filament essentially for, I had this going the other way, for the plug, and it kind of melted a little bit in the oven. But it didn't screw up the Cerakote. So I'm looking for alternative, like high temperature, like 300F, you know, rated filament for those sorts of things. But that made the whole process really easy because you have to mask everything and blast it, right?
Yep.
You're sandblasting
Yeah.
it. Then you have to take all that masking off, typically, if it's anything that can collect any sand in it. Blow it all down with compressed air and then remask it. So if you have a plug that you can slide in and out, it makes that process
Like, you're only doing it one time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Very, very quick and efficient. So I also made an encapsulated cap to hang the barrel from, and then used a thread protector and just taped the end. So I didn't have to run a wire through the barrel this time. So Cerakote process, much better. We've got Coyote Tan here, and I think the color actually complements what they've got on the stock perfectly.
It's going to look great.
It's almost like a perfect match.
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
So what I'm thinking is, next let's go over to the gunsmithing bench and let's put this rifle together.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Wow, this baby went together smooth.
It did. It did. It was fun.
Yeah, after Cerakote job, you know, it's all about the attention to detail. So one of the things I like about the Bergaras is if you want to do the bolt, look at how easy that comes out. Just give it a twist, put it back in. You have to tension the firing pin, push down kind of hard on it, and then it's kind of back and together. And when you have the firing pin out, then you can push this pin through, and you could do, you know, something like a bolt head swap if that was something that you wanted to do.
Yep, or easy maintenance too, just keeping it clean.
Yeah.
If you take it out in the field, it gets full of dust, it's a way you can wipe everything down and get it back together.
Tool-free is always better, I would say. And then it was time to torque the barrel down to the receiver, right? And so we got that tiny little pin that locates the recoil lug, and got our short action customs Bravo vise all fired up, 1.2-inch shank, got it torqued down, and this is where you want to, after it's torqued, check with your go gauge. Go gauge, your bolt handle should go down. You put in your no-go gauge, handle should not go down, you know. And I check it on the lathe, I hand tighten it, but you know, when you tighten the barrel down, the dynamics change ever so slightly. So you just want to make sure that you're, you know, between go and no-go. And at that point, time to throw on the Oregon Mountain Rifle Company brake with their little tool. You can kind of do it by hand.
Yep.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, that was super convenient.
Yep. And then, of course, Loctite, blue Loctite on the rail screws, got the rail torqued down. And then time to take the action. We did the trigger install, so we're using a Trigger Tech Diamond Remington 700 two-stage here for this particular one. Then the barreled action can go into, you know, the rifle. And one thing I like to check there, you know, as we're bringing it together for the first time, is to get both action screws bottomed out, but just kind of hand tight. And then to grab the rifle right here and modulate torque on the front action screw. What you want to see is does it have a tendency to move a little bit, like it's crushing down in a non-optimal mating surface between the receiver and the stock. And I didn't feel any movement, and this has not been bedded, right? This is
This is bone stock MDT, the brand new stock that they just came out with. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, so that came together nicely. One little detail about this carbon stock is the mag catch is adjustable, and I really like the way that they implemented that. MDT did a nice job. It's got a lock screw that's in here, and then it's got a micro adjusting screw that moves the entire assembly up and down, and then when you get it just how you want it, it was a little tight when we first tried this. So I was like, we need to loosen that up a little bit. So I actually lowered it just a little bit, locked it back down, and it looks like it's absolutely going to stay put and all that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it's cool too because you can swap these out because this I think is their competition bottom metal, and then they have the hunter bottom metal too. So if you want to go with something a little bit more streamlined.
Yep.
So yeah, this is a cool multi-purpose option that they have.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. And then scope mounting, right? So we put the rings on and got the scope on all kind of loose so that we could move it a little bit, especially that kind of fore aft, get behind the rifle, max magnification, and then just make sure that your eye relief is comfortable, right? How you're going to sit behind the rifle, make sure that you have good sight picture. At max magnification, that eye relief is less forgiving, right?
Yep.
It kind of, the total allowable distance goes down, that it's valid with head movement and whatnot. So then the scope goes to the rock vise, and this is the Aero product scope leveling tool here. We get this level, put the scope on, we get the scope level, and then we torque it down, and then we just put it back on. It just makes that leveling part super easy.
That was absolutely awesome. I've never had that before. That was I hate to use the word game changer, but that was a game changer.
Yeah, I mean, when you get spoiled with tools like in the shop, you kind of wonder how you ever got by without them.
Absolutely.
Yep. So the rifle is together. It looks absolutely awesome. I would say we got the 3-round mag in there. We've also got the 7-round mag. I'd say next, let's get this baby sighted in.
Let's do it.
Awesome. Oh man, what good time shooting this rifle, huh?
It was great. We had had some weather, but yeah, we had some fun. Yeah.
So this is how the story started. It's kind of more or less a blizzard out here at Ultimate Reloader, and we're just determined we're going to go get this thing sighted in. We're going to do it. And so I'm looking down the tube of the rifle, and I can barely see the target. It's kind of a white out. It's getting somewhat dark and whatnot. So I think it took probably 4 shots or something to get on paper. If it doesn't work when you aim at the center dot, aim at the top of the sheet, then bottom, then left, then right, then hopefully that'll get you on paper. And sure enough, we're able to dial over. And, we started with loads. We were a couple grains down on our charge weight from max. And what's interesting about the 7 SAUM is we kind of got wildly different load data depending on where we were shopping for that data.
Yeah, every book had something completely, well, not completely different, but definitely lower than what we ended up with. So.
And we started braked, and what I like to do is if it's a hunting rifle, and I'm likely to use it either braked or suppressed, we kind of shoot some groups with both. That'll provide us a different barrel tune, and then try different bullets as well. So we started with the Bergara 180s, and what impressed me about the rifle is we were getting nice round groups from the very beginning. With the carbon barrel, sometimes you'll see it walk and heat up and cool off along a particular axis. You get sort of like a string, a straight line string of bullets in some direction. None of that here. And, what it showed us was it favored some loads and, kind of didn't favor some others. But right from the get-go, we were shooting 185 RDFs as our second bullet, and the first group, 3 shots into .461, about 2,670 feet per second. So, that's a load right there that you could definitely work with, I would say.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that was unsuppressed. That was just with the muzzle brake on it.
And in the snowstorm.
That one. And blowing snow. Yeah.
Yep. And then we tried Bergara Classic Hunters, and those didn't group super well with the brake. The 185 RDFs did good multiple times. So today we kind of went back out. Weather was much better. We decided, hey, today is kind of suppressor day with this rifle. So I think first group I did, the 185 RDF suppressed, 3 shots went into .496, right? So very consistent with the group that I shot the first day with the brake.
Yeah.
Slightly different charge weight. So if you did want to shoot 185 RDFs, it seems like you could go either way.
Yep. Yeah. No, I really, really like that load for sure.
And then another promising load was the 190 A-tips, right? With, what was this, 61 grains of H1000, running about 2,600 feet per second. Pretty good for a 190. I shot .712 inches for 3 shots, and then you followed that right up with 3 shots going into .539, right? So really good stuff.
Yeah. No, that was super consistent. Super consistent. So I think it definitely it's favoring those heavier loads out of what we tested for sure.
Yeah, 185s, 190s. So I think kind of for me, the next steps are to look at maybe comparing two different powders and then going through a little bit of a charge weight workup and maybe a little bit of bullet seating depth.
Yeah.
We kind of went off of manufacturer specs and stuff, and you know, we could do the Loctite method to find our exact cartridge overall length at the lands and then work from there and that kind of thing. But what I'm seeing is this rifle for sure is going to place 3 shots on an animal in a very tight group.
Absolutely.
And that's all I'm looking at from a big game hunting rifle. If it's a varminting rifle, then I'm like, oh, let's see how it does with 10 shots.
Yeah.
Or 15 or 20, you know.
And given the weight of the rifle compared to the other rifle build we did, like that's extremely successful for something this light. So
great ergos with carbon stock. Oregon Mountain Rifle Company, really, really nice barrel. I'm a believer in this exact barrel. The chambering went super smooth, you know.
Yeah.
The Cerakote was a dream to put on. And, you know, I'm just thinking there's even more here, right? This is just some initial playing around, essentially.
Yeah.
You know, so Bergara short action Magnum, really good choice for an action for this. And now you can go just buy one from Bergara directly, you know, if you want to do a build like this. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, it opens it up for customers to kind of do whatever they want to do. Like obviously 7 SAUM, we kind of went with something that nobody's chambering. And made it a lot of fun for this project. So.
Yeah, but that wasn't all the fun. We also decided on, you know, what I would call a pretty reasonable like hunting simulation for big game around here.
Yeah.
400-yard shot off of a tripod, and this is what happened. And back.
That thing was off the right edge.
Oh, really? Interesting. Okay, I'm going to send one more.
Got him front quarter.
Nice. Okay, you're up. Nice. Pounded him, dude. Give me one more. Hammered him, dude.
Heck yeah.
Nice. So obviously no problem connecting with, you know, elk size vitals, deer size vitals at 400 off of a tripod. And if I'm going out beyond that, I'm going down prone.
Yeah,
personally.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that was on a compact tripod too.
Yeah.
Not a big competition tripod, you know. So yeah, just a smaller Leupold tripod, and that was plenty steady enough to be confident in that shot.
Yeah, so, you know, what we'd like to know is, what do you think of this build? You know, the choice of components, the choice of colors, the choice of optic. Please drop a comment in the comments section and we'll discuss. Don't forget, multiple action offerings from Bergara now. They're all premier. You got your short action 308 bolt face, your short action Magnum, and your long action Magnum. Really good stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thanks for coming down, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay, that concludes this video, and that means it's time to wrap it up. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're watching Ultimate Reloader on TV and want to take advantage of free resources, exclusives, and hot deals, just hold your camera phone up to the QR code, tap on the link, fill out the information, boom, you're getting Ultimate Reloader emails. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, we're on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, where we've got unrestricted content, and Instagram. Make sure to follow us on all those channels. Ultimate Reloader also has a commercial solutions division serving law enforcement, the military, and the gun industry. We have some unique capabilities, including a comprehensive suite of recoil testing and evaluation capabilities, trigger profiling, and more. Thanks again for watching.